A very good evening to everyone. Welcome to NTA UGC NET Paper 1, that is for 2022 batch. And here we are with our lecture 2 for the topic Research Aptitude. And we are, as you all are aware, that we have started practice MCQs, and yesterday was the first lecture on Research Aptitude. Today is the second lecture on Research Aptitude practice MCQs, and we are live daily at 9 p.m. So So we are live daily at 9 p.m. That is for the practice MCQs. In the description box, you can check all the links with respect to research aptitude as well as the teaching aptitude, which we have earlier done. Apart from the same thing, you have the links in the description box for theory lectures also. Anyone, those who have missed theory lectures can go through the link and can revise the theory. In case if you want any such crashed revision theory lectures which are going to come up, so we are going to start very soon the crash revision lecture on teaching aptitude. So any particular student who has missed or has not cleared or in one go wants to clear the entire teaching aptitude, very soon we are going to come up with that. You will get the notification well in advance. Now, just to remind you that Global Online will be starting paper 1 new batch, that is from 13th of April, which the module will be the daily live lectures. You will get notes in the form of PDF on all the topics. Last 10-year papers will be solved with the help of the answer key. Apart from that, you will also get test series which will be consisting of more than 2,500 MCQs. The fees for the same is rupees 3,000 now. You can also go and download our Global Online app. This is how the app is, and you can check all the details are given. In case if you have any other query, you can get in touch with the given WhatsApp number. Now let's start the session for the day. As you all know that we have already started with research aptitude. So total questions on research aptitude are 5 in the examination. Total marks for the question is 10. So it means one question carries 2 marks. So each question carries 2 marks. Quickly, a look at a syllabus, which we will be having a daily traditional practice of understanding the syllabus. So the syllabus consists of the following sub-points, that is research, wherein meaning, types, characteristics. We have seen very well how there can be various questions on characteristics, positivism and post-positivist approach, which we are going to do today. Methods of research, that is experimental, descriptive, historical, qualitative and quantitative. So we are also having questions on this methods today. Then we have steps of research, thesis and article writing, where you definitely get one question. Application of ICT in research, so they merge up this, either with teaching aptitude also. So I have one such question today in the session, so you will come to know about it. And research ethics, and definitely here also you get one question. So on an average, they touch all the topics which you have to be very clear with. Fine. Now, before we start the session for the day, let's have a little bit of motivational dose and go ahead. A little progress each day adds up to a big result. So like for example, any student or any particular candidate who is going to appear in the upcoming cycle of UGC NTA NET, wherein the notification will come. So I mean to say, the moment I say there will be questions on notification, it will come. Don't worry, you start your preparation. Just to tell those candidates or students that, do not decide, okay, after a month I will be free, I will start, after a week I'll start, after my schedule. Nowadays examinations are going everywhere, so I will start later. That later will never come, that day will never come. So whatever amount of time you're getting it from today itself, okay, however amount of time you can devote for your preparation, you start with that. So small progress definitely will end up with the big results. That's what we are waiting for. Okay. Now, so all the best to everyone. Let's start the session for the day. And here comes your question number 1. So your question number 1 is basically about a good review of research literature aims at. So when we talk about the review of research literature, basically what is the aim of the literature, that is review of literature. So whether it gives you subjective analysis of the content, whether it provides information about the authors and their affiliation, whether it helps in generating research questions and validate those questions, or it helps in conducting multiple task based screening. So when we talk about a good review of literature, research literature, what is the aim of that literature review? Why do we refer the literature review, or why do we go for literature review? So what from the following options will it help for? Will it help for subjective analysis? Will it help for affiliation and information? Will it help for the research questions and to validate those questions? And will it help for conducting multiple task based screening? So here we are with our question. I'm expecting answers from everyone. So students, those who have joined, can start answering. So any new student to the class, remember the answer pattern is the question number and the option number. That's how you go with your answers. Okay, so I'm waiting for answers. Okay, Swaraja has already started the answers. Okay, yes, others also. Okay, we have started getting answers. Okay, there are many students joined. I have just hardly got 2-3 answers. Mohammed, it is question number 1. Yes, you have rectified it. Okay, fine. Now there is a confusion between option number B and option number C. Let's see. A good review of research literature aims at subjective analysis. No, it depends upon what is your study, what exactly you are into. So it is not only subjective analysis. And helps in conducting multiple task based screening. No, this is not an option. Okay, the option number A and D are eliminated already. Okay, now if you see option number B, that is providing information about the authors and their affiliation. Now when you read this statement and when you go back to the question, they didn't ask us that what does it is, whether it is reliable or not. The question is saying that a good review of literature will help you to give what? Why do we do literature review in our research? It is just in order to ensure that what has been touched, what has been untouched by the researcher. So we come to know that what exactly should be our research questions and how can we validate those questions. Those who have given option number B is not the right answer. I'll come to the theory part also. It's not a right answer. They are not asking us about any authenticity. They are just telling that what it aims for. So basically when we do review of literature, it is to understand which area the researcher has not touched so that we can generate a research question and we can validate those questions. And that is the reason for good literature review. So basically, Mohammed, why did you change your answer? Your answer was right. Yes, Mr. Khan, your answer is wrong. I hope you did a clear answer. All those who have given B, I hope you have got your mistake. Now see, literature review is something which helps or is available literature which helps to brings ease in the research. Ease in the research, it means understanding how do you have to proceed in your research area. The knowledge of researcher about the research problem is broadened. It gives clarity and focus. See, it's mentioned over here very well. It gives clarity and focus about the research problem. It helps to improve authenticity of research and it helps to improve the research methodology. Okay, but our question was not asking about authenticity. It was asking about the main aim, and the main aim is to generate the research questions and to validate those questions. I hope it is very clear with everyone. Question number 1, answer is option number C. Going on to question number 2. Now the question number 2 is basically on hypothesis. Okay, read the question very carefully. Here also students are doing mistake. Okay, a researcher fails to reject the null hypothesis. So we have null hypothesis and we have alternate hypothesis. Okay, so now your researcher fails to reject the null hypothesis. What implication it will carry with her principal research hypothesis? So what will be the implications on the principal research hypothesis? Okay, so the options are accepting the research hypothesis, rejecting the research hypothesis, not taking any decision, or improving the research hypothesis. What does it results into? Yes, Pushpa, very good evening. Moshmi, I don't know whether you were there or what. That's the reason some questions which are drastically going wrong I have brought those questions again. I don't know whether you were there with me in my earlier cycle. Please read the question very carefully. Now see over here. Those students who are coming up with the options, that option number B, okay, rejecting the research hypothesis, you have not understood the question very well. What it is telling, a researcher fails. Now what is the meaning of failing to reject the null hypothesis? Basically it means that his research findings has rejected the null hypothesis. The research findings has rejected the null hypothesis. So when the null hypothesis is rejected, what will be the implication towards the principal hypothesis? Your principal hypothesis will be accepted. Read, this particular sentence is given to confuse you. A researcher fails. It means that his findings have not given him, has rejected the null hypothesis. So when the null hypothesis gets rejected, alternate hypothesis gets accepted. Okay, so we will go to the theory part also. So we have null hypothesis and we have alternate hypothesis. Okay, so now when we talk about the purposes, okay, the purpose is to provide the researcher or an investigator with a relational statement that is tested in the research study, which is based on what? Which is based on the tentative statement, and which is defined with the help of what? Analysis. Now the question that is positive statement that says a relationship exists. It means there is, correlation or a difference exists between the groups, that is experimental study. It means it is called as alternate or hypothesis. If there is a relation between the studies, it is an alternate hypothesis, and if the relationship does not get proved or it does not exist, it is called as null hypothesis. So in the given question, it says that the researcher's relationship is not existing. It means it is failed, it is rejected. So it means what it tells, that the relationship, in the form of alternate hypothesis gets accepted. So that is the question. Those who have said 2B, I hope how you have understood, whether 2B is wrong, how 2B is wrong, that I have explained you very well. Please listen to my explanation properly. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about question number 3. Now, question number 3 is, which of the following research format focuses on hypothesis, testing and generalization? Okay. Which of the following research format focuses on hypothesis, testing and generalization? So you have to concentrate over here. Okay. That in the research, which particular research as the given options focuses on hypothesis, testing and generalization. Okay, so whether it is experimental and ex post facto research, whether it is intervention based research, whether it is phenomenal research, or whether it is case study research. So which of the research? Okay, I have started getting answer. Fine. And those students who are new to the research aptitude, don't worry. As I said, crash courses are coming one by one for every unit. So that time you can just sit and clarify your doubt. Okay. Okay, I'm just waiting for everyone's answer. Okay, now see. Yes, very good. Now I hope Shelly, yes, I'm coming to that part also. Now hope everyone has, first of all understood exactly what is the question talking about. Okay, so when we talk about the question is telling that which research takes into consideration the hypothesis, testing and generalization. Now Shelly, as you said, your doubt, generalization is nothing but a general statement which is based on the facts. Like for example, when we do the hypothesis testing, after the hypothesis testing, we come with a generalized statement related to our research. Okay, so your doubt is sorted out. Okay, now yes, the right answer is experimental research and the ex post facto research. Okay, but how and why and what is the what is the reason behind this particular option to be getting selected? So let's understand. First of all, The given option, let us go for this given options. What is this intervention based action research? So when we talk about intervention, it is nothing, only the process of taking action based on the strategies. So it is something that is we implement the activities the way the action research has taken the strategies or action. So it definitely, it is not related to any hypothesis, it is only related to taking action. So here we are not concerned about hypothesis testing. When we say phenomenal or narrative researches, it is based on experience of an individual which is narrated, or it is based on the process of the experiences of individual. So again here we do not take any hypothesis into testing. Now case study, that depends upon what the presentation, but no hypothesis, that we present the fact in a different perception. So it is only the experimental research and the ex post facto research which talks about what? Which talks about hypothesis testing, and it talks about generalization. Now how? Let's see. So when we say experimental research, it is something which is based on cost and effect relationship. So it means that in order to understand the cause, the effect is observed, so that we come to know about we come to know what is the effect and what is the cause relationship. So for that, observation is required, testing is required. Like for example, I have given effect of change packaging. I mean to say, what is the effect of packaging which has been changed in order to get a regular, so on the sales of the regular biscuit brand. So you can change it into any example. But if we want to see the effect, we have to understand the cause also. Now, when we take into consideration ex post facto research, it is something which explains the independent variable, how it affects the dependent variable. It also takes into consideration the quasi experiment. Now, what does this quasi experiment talks about? It talks about the experiment, but not a true experiment. It means it is just taking into consideration the behaviors or the participants. Like for example, how adult education influence the confidence in adults. Okay, so it takes into consideration the participation. It may not go for a true research, but yes, there are certain type of experiments which are done. So both in both the places, we ensure that we test the hypothesis, and then we come to what? We come to a generalization, that is a statements. And based on that, we give the results. Okay. So this is how we use the testing in experimental and ex post facto research. Fine. Okay. I hope I'm explaining it very much in detail, and I'm going ahead because today there are questions are there 15, but the concepts are more to explain. Okay. Now we are going, yesterday we did qualitative research, if you remember. Okay, so there is a question on that, but the question is converted in the form of positivist and post-positivism approach. Let's see. Which of the following is the main feature of qualitative research? Qualitative research. But then see what is the options they have given. The one which avoids positivist assumptions and data analysis. The one which subscribes to the pre-existing categories. The one which collects data in numerical form. Or the one which uses empirical method of data analysis. So when we talk qualitative research, what does the qualitative research talks from the given option? Here I'm going to explain you the positivism and post-positivist approach. If students are still confused, you have to listen to me very carefully, okay, for the next 5 minutes. But let's see how many of you can answer this. Fourth, okay. Parth, no issues. You can just continue with the questions you have entered with. Okay. Now see, I don't know why this much mistakes is happening. In spite we doing qualitative research. Now see, what is the point? I'm not asking you to, I'm not telling you are wrong, but what I'm trying to understand is that why didn't you read the option properly? Which of the following is the main feature of qualitative research? In qualitative research, you tell me how empirical method of data analysis, empirical, if you remember, we have done this yesterday. Empirical is something which is related to real life experiences. Okay. Now empirical method of data analysis. So they are doing it statistically. So how that will become a part of qualitative research, I didn't get. So everyone is answering 4D. Okay, so it means I need to explain you the topic over here. Now here, let me first take you to positivism and post-positivism approach. Let's understand that first, okay? So when we talk about positivism, it is something which is based in beliefs in reality, okay? Which can be measured and known only, or it can be called as what? Quantitative. So in order to understand or to believe in the reality, we have to, quantify it. That is what the positivism believes in. It believes in reality. It means it believes a true and objective reality that can be studied only by applying the methods and principles, okay, systematically or logically, you can say. It denies intuition. It does not accept intuition. It means it will not go based on any intuition or perception. It is only concerned with objectivity, okay, the object, the logic, the scientific, the rational behavior. And how the studies are in positivism approach always believe in scientific study, okay. Now going to post positivism approach, it believes in creation of new knowledge and able to support the committed movement. So it believes in the creation of new knowledge, but this new knowledge is on the basis of theories, the hypothesis, and the value of researcher. So you can say that it is something which is qualified, it is something which is qualitative, it is concerned with subjectivity, and it is based on experience, okay, experience which is used on the basis of given theories, hypothesis, and values. Now still, if you are not able to understand, I have purposely added one more slide clearly. So positivism, as I said, it believes in reality, okay, and can be observed and described from objective point of view. So it is something which produces quantitative data using large samples and after only testing the hypothesis, where the data is highly specific and precise, and the reliability is very, very high when it comes to positivism approach. So positivism approach does not goes on intuition, does not goes on any theories. It always believes in what the reality is. Means observation, you can say, testing, you can say, using the data in a very precise form. But whereas when you go to post positivism, it understands the world from the subjective experience of individual, wherein it produces qualitative data. Okay, now if you see at the question which we used, which of the following is the main feature of qualitative research? So qualitative research, as I said, see, if you see all the remaining options, no, it does not gives it is talking about what? It is talking about your positivism. But see the first option, it avoids positivism because it is based on which type of approach? It is based on the post positivism approach, okay, and hence option number 1 is correct. Is it clear? Avoids. See the word avoids. If it is avoiding positivist approach, it means it is accepting which approach? That is post positivism, and that's what we studied over here. That is qualitative approach. It uses small samples, it generalizes the theories, it is subjective, and the reliability is low. I hope it is very, very clear. As I said, I have taught this same approach in the theory lecture. There also I took 2 times this concept in both the lectures. So if you are still not able to get it, please go to my theory lecture once of research and understand it very well. I have used completely 1 lecture for this approach, okay. Pre-existing, it means which is already, the categories are already formed. Okay, so you do not know what exactly, maybe, I mean to say here they have not given a clarity. So it is maybe it is pre-existing, the categories are already divided. So that cannot be the qualitative form, main feature of research. Pre-existing categories are included in No, see this option of pre-existing categories, no. Now this option itself is an incomplete option. It does not tell you. It does not tell you whether it is quantified or qualified. And that's the reason it is not, accepted as one of the option. Is it clear, Shelly? Okay, fine. I hope it is very clear with everyone. Okay, Ajay, I'll come to your doubt. I'll come to that aspect because I have explained that in the class. But still, if you have in the theory class, I have explained. But still, if you are confused, I'll come to it at the end. Okay, fine. So yes, now going with question number 5, everyone. Participation observation. Participative, you can say, or participation observation is a part of what? Is it a part of philosophical research? Is it a part of mentalist theory of language? Is it a part of mathematical research, or is it a part of ethnographic research? Okay, participation observation, only one doubt of Ajay's I have left right as of now, rest I'm going ahead. So participation observation, okay, is a part of what? Which type of research? Whether it is a philosophical, mentalist, whether it is mathematical, or it is ethnographic research. Question number 5 we are into. So just okay, fine. Yes, everyone. Yes. Okay, fifth question, yes, everyone is clear, but still, let's go to understanding of ethnographic research, which is basically which gets involved into a study of a society, a culture, or group in depth with observation method. So participation observation enables, to share the experiences of the subject, and that's what the question was. The question was, that participation observation is a part of what? It is a part of ethnographic research. But ethnographic research, yes, Swaraj, here I have explained you. It is a research which helps us to study a society, a culture, or a group in depth with the help of observation method. But there are various kinds of question with ethnographic research. Okay, they most of the time they have bit twisted. They have given certain examples also. Okay, so we will, as and when we are gradually moving ahead, we will see lot of question on ethnographic research also, wherein you study something related to the society, to the culture, to the group, and that's how the experiences are shared, which helps into what? Into calling as the participant observation. Is it clear? Okay, now coming to question number 6, plagiarism. So plagiarism in research is what does it talks about? Does it makes what is the meaning of plagiarism? It is something which is creative use of previous data, which is copying unculpably and making use of it, quoting someone and citing him or her, or referring to previous data and working over it with new objective. So what exactly means plagiarism? Okay, there are question comings on plagiarism with different terminology also. In the latest cycle also there was a question on plagiarism. So what is the meaning of plagiarism basically over here? Okay, I'm just waiting for everyone to come up with the answer. Okay, 6th, yes. Okay. Deepa, you're on 6th, I guess. By mistakenly, there's a typing error. So yes, plagiarism is something which is, copying unculpably, that is not being honest and making use of it. Now see, when we say that it is the content is plagiarized, now as a researcher you have I mean to say, as a research ethics, you can refer the research papers, you can take the reference of the research papers which were written by the researchers, but at the same time it is indicated that you give the credit to the researcher. You are supposed to give a credit, which is a part of research ethics. Now you are copying the content which is not, first of all, which is completely not honest, and you are making use of it without giving credit to the person. So that type of content is nothing but it is called as plagiarized. Okay, where you do not give credit and you authenticate it as your work. So in that case it is called as what? Plagiarism. Is it clear? So you can't copy. You can, you can take the ideas, you can take the content, but as in reference, and you have to give the credit to the researcher. Is it clear? Coming to question number 7. Okay, now based on question number 7, there can be multiple questions, but right now I have come up with one question. Any numerical value which is computed from the population is called as what? Is it called as sampling error? Is it called as parameter? Is it called as bias? Or is it called as statistics? There is one small concept which we have done. If you do not know, I am going to take it now also. In the theory class also we have done this. Okay. Okay, waiting for the answers everyone for question number 7. Okay. Question number 7, DB, it means there is a confusion. Okay, now question number 7, those just answer. The students who are not knowing the topic, okay, may come up with a mistake. So let's see, the answer is actually parameter. Now here, this is something which is little factual. So let me come to the topic, okay. Now see, we have parameter, we have statistics, we have sampling frame, and we have sampler design. This is, first let me explain you, and then it's okay. You can, you don't have to count that question, because if you're not confirmed with the concept, it is not easy to answer the question. So when we talk about the parameter is a measure that describes the whole population. So the question was basically any numerical value which is computed from the population. So value which is computed from the population is nothing but it is called as parameter, because parameter is that measure which describes the whole population. When we talk about statistics, that's how many of them has answered. So statistics is the measure that describes the sample. So we decide the population for our research. Based on what we go for the sample. So the sample is nothing but a part of population. But when we talk about population in numerical term, it is something we call as parameter, the parameter. When we talk about sample, it is something which talks about what? It is something which, it's used to measure the sample. That is nothing but is termed as statistics. Neelam, yes, let me explain this and then I'll go to question number 7 because it is based on this only. And when we talk about sampling frame, it is a device or a material from which we draw the sample. So like for example, the sampling frame. Okay, so it is something where we have drawn our sample from. And when we talk about sampling design, it is a roadmap which and the methodology you can say for selecting the sample. We are using certain designs in order to study our research. So that designs or research design which we called it, that indicates what your sample design. So please remember that we have 4 terms, that is population, sample, the sample drawn, that is in the form of sample frame, and the sample which uses the methodology, that is called as sampling design. So the question which was asked to you, that is any numerical value which is computed from the population. So something which is computed from the population is called as parameter. Statistics, which is used for what? Which is used for sample. So there are multiple, and these are the part of your previous year questions only. Many a times they have confused you with the statements. So please remember, you have to very well understand, for the population we use parameter, for the sample we use statistics. Sampling frame is something where the sample is drawn, and sample and design talks about the methodology which is used or the technique which is used. Is it clear? Okay, fine. Now, coming to 8. Now, this is actually, this question is the question which will be applicable in research aptitude also, and it will be applicable in the teaching aptitude also. What is the confusion, Shelly? What exactly you are confused for? Can you tell me? Or like in simple frame, if I before I start with this question, okay, if I talk about the whole procedure, okay, the whole procedure, that is involved is called as the sample design, the whole procedure if I take into consideration. Okay, now if I talk about sampling frame, it is the set of unit, only the units which are drawn. Okay, so from the sample, if the units are drawn, I can say that it is a sample frame. And now when it is used, random sampling, or you can say the entire sampling technique which is based in that, we can use the word as sample design. Fine. Okay. Now yes, so now this question, see, diagnostic research you can say, or diagnostic evaluation, we have done this in research, in teaching aptitude, but it will be implemented in both the ways. So when we talk about diagnosis, okay, evaluation, what does it considers? It considers the student's performance at the beginning. It considers the cost and remedies. It considers the degree of achievement, or it considers the learning progress and failure after instruction. So what exactly diagnostic evaluation talks about? Diagnosis. We have studied this very well. Diagnosis, it indicates what I have told you. It is one of the principle of teaching also, and it is applicable in research also. Okay, yes. So some of them have went wrong again over here. Diagnosis is something which is talking about what? It is talking about the cause and remedies. Here option number 2, please remember diagnosis. It means you not only find the cause, but you also indicate the remedies for, in order to solve the problem. Okay. So please remember question number 8. Those who said student performance as the beginning of the instruction. Okay. But then it is talking about diagnosis evaluation. So it means you have to understand the root cause. At the same time, you have to give a remedy for that. And that is called as keyword, yes. Keyword for diagnosis is cause and remedies. Is it clear? Okay. Now, coming to question number 9. Till now, everything is in place. Only Ajay's one doubt of question number 3 is left. Rest all is done. So, I hope it is clear with everyone. Now, going ahead, read the question very clearly. Critical language testing in a research. So when we talk about critical language testing in research report, what does it indicate? So does it indicate testing language from an ethical point of view, revealing its misuses, or evaluating the stylish characteristics of language, or critiquing the ideology of the author, or observing the gender role played by the language? So when we talk about research report, okay, research report, it means that wherein we consider critical language testing. So what does that indicates? What it is from the given option, what does it talks about? I'm waiting for everyone to read it and answer me the question. Okay, so yes, question number 9's answer, yes. So if you go read this question very carefully, you can easily come up with this answer also. See, it's written very clearly. Evaluating the stylist characteristics of language, no, definitely it is not related to your question. Critiquing the ideology of author, we studied yesterday that we cannot criticize anyone's work. So this is against research ethics. It is unethical. Observing the gender role, it is nothing to do with, the research report. So basically, critical language testing in research is nothing but testing the language. As I said, research report is always related to something ethics. Again, this is one of the keyword. So testing testing language from the ethical point of view and revealing whether it is ethical or unethical. It means revealing its misuses, and that's what the right option is. Okay. Anyways, if you see the remaining options also, they are not very close to the question. So this is also one of the way, to understand the question and coming to the answer if the topic is completely new or a question looks like a completely from a different world. Now, coming to question number 10. Now here, this is how you get, questions on dependent and independent variable. 99% it is seen, they give you examples and they'll tell you to find out the dependent and independent variable. Now read the question very carefully. Okay, the question talks about a university teacher plans to study the effect of level of aspiration of the students. So level of aspiration of the students in terms of their socio-economic background on their scholastic performance at the term and evaluation conducted by an external testing agency. There the question is entirely confused to come up with a wrong option. So just read what is required. You just have to find out what is the dependent variable, whether it is the level of aspiration, whether it is the socio-economic background, whether it is the scholastic performance or the term and evaluation. Now this is one of the previous year question. In the coming classes, that is in the coming test, I will take the twisted examples. This is exactly I have taken previous year example and given you so that you come up with the right answer. And don't go with your by-hearting technique. Understand what can anyone tell me? Okay, let's make it different now. Can anyone tell me what is the independent variable in this particular example? What is the independent variable? What is independent variable? I will count marks on that. What is the independent variable for the given question? Okay, I'm waiting for the independent variable. You have to type the answer because it is not, I mean to say, don't confuse with the any options. What will be the independent variable? I'm waiting for the answer. Yes, 11th and 10th answer is there. Gautami, 10th answer you mean to say. Junaid, that is the dependent variable. Okay, so right answer is yes. The right answer is dependent variable is the performance of the students. Okay, but what is the independent variable in this particular given question? Independent variable. Option number. Okay, so you are saying yes. Yes. Very good. In the question number 10, your level of aspiration, okay, is your independent variable and your scholastic performance is your dependent variable. Is it clear with everyone? So that's how the twisting goes, and the rest of the content part of the sentence is just to confuse you. Yes, got it. Gautami got it. Okay, fine. Now yes, now let's see how many of you are able to answer me this question. Process which helps the researcher to develop practical solution to address the problem quickly and efficiently. Process which helps the researcher to develop practical solution to address the problem quickly and efficiently. Very smartly they have twisted this question in the best possible manner. So in case if you know the concept, what the question is based on, you will be able to answer me very correctly. Swarajya, no, socio-economic background will not be your variable. It is, it is not, it is your intervening variable. It is not your dependent or independent variable. Okay. Yes, so I hope this question everyone realize what it is. It is nothing but see, if you read the question very correctly, process which helps the researcher to develop practical solution to address the problem. So it is something which is called as action based research, and yesterday we have studied, if you remember, a plan. Okay, that is, yeah, no, I have not I have not brought the content. Yeah, that is based on the steps of the action research. That is nothing but plan, act, observe, reflect. Okay, if you remember. So the question is talking about action research, but how they have twisted, see, and how that is brought. This is, this can be one of the way in just to confuse you again. Very good. Those who have answered it correctly knows the concept now. Okay. Now, coming to question number 12. Now see, I have not taken entire sampling today. Sampling, one entire topic is there which will come slowly, gradually. I have just taken a part of sampling. Okay, that is one topic of sampling. Based on that, I have made a question. So the sampling technique in which the interviewer is interviewing 25 teachers, 50 public servants and 25 farmers. So what this type of sampling will be called as? Okay, from the given options, what it will be called as? So partial sampling, quota sampling, accidental sampling, or stratified sampling. What is it is talking about? Question number 12 now. Okay. Yes. Answer it. I will be waiting for the everyone to answer, because again this question, in case if you have not understood correctly, you will get confused over here. Okay, I'm just waiting for everyone to answer so that I know how many of them are confused. Based on that, I can do a proper explanation. Okay. 12th, only one student has answered. 12 D D D D D. Okay. Fine. Now see over here, everyone has done a mistake over here. The right answer here is not the stratified sampling, it is quota sampling. Now why? Listen to my explanation first very well. Listen to the explanation. It is not stratified sampling. Now what went wrong? Why you thought it is stratified sampling? Now please try to understand. My question was the sampling technique in which interviewer, okay, is interviewing. Now when he is interviewing, the interviewers, the interviewee are in such a way that out of which 25 should be teachers, 50 should be public servant, and 25 should be the farmer. This is the interviewee he's talking about. Now when I say if it is strata, okay, that is stratified sampling. So in stratified sampling, the interviewer will be taking the interviewee from the various socio-economic background, maybe from the from the gender, from the qualification background. There are different strata. It means there are different subgroups. So here the subgroup is one and the same. Only the thing is that there has been clause made, and that clause is nothing but here it is called as what? It is called as quota. Now here if we talk about quota sampling, in research, it talks about characteristics of a population which are chosen by the researcher, which can be either controlled or which can be uncontrolled. So when I am saying controlled, it means that there are certain restrictions in order to limit, depending upon the limit the researcher's choice of sample. And when I say uncontrolled, it means that it is as per the convenience of the researcher. So please try to understand. Like for example, suppose if I keep the same question, okay, and if I say that the interviewee wants 25 teachers who are working in private school, 25 teachers who are working in university level. So again that comes with male, female, so that again comes what? Your quota. But when I'm saying that strata, it means those who are teaching in remote area, those who are teaching in city area or urban cities, those who are from various levels of the teaching, okay, level 1 or class 1, class 2, like that. So that will come as what? Your strata. Please try to understand. In quota you have the restrictions, okay, the same sample but in the form of restrictions, so that restrictions can come in any form. So here students get completely confused. I have told very clearly the quota sampling. That's the reason I didn't bring the entire sampling today. I'll go it slowly and gradually. Okay. Now, question number 13 is the easy question. Let's see how many of you are able to crack it. Which of the following is not a method of research? Now, from the given method, one of this is not the method of research. That is historical, philosophical, observation, or experimental. Which is not a method of research? From the given option, which is not the method of research? Whether it is historical, whether it is philosophical, whether it is observational, whether it is experimental. I will definitely here now I have mixed all the questions, but exclusively previous year question papers also I will take up to the last cycle, so that it gives you a clear understanding how the questions are based, what is the language, how to understand. So we will do a detailed session on that also. Yes, Definitely very good, everyone. Pratiksha, be careful. Read the question. Pratiksha and PR. Observation is the correct option, because observation, it's not a method. It's of research. It is one of the method of data collection. Please try to philosophical. No, we have historical. That's the reason. See, if you know your syllabus, no, this is given in your syllabus very well. Historical or philosophical or experimental are all the methods of research, whereas observation is a, you can say, a tool of data collection. Fine. Yes. Now coming to question number 14, fieldwork based research is classified as what? Now please try to understand. Here it is. Here again they have given you some confusion. So fieldwork is the research which is classified under empirical or historical or experimental or biographical. What it will be classified as? Fieldwork research. Waiting for the answers, everyone. Okay, I'm just waiting for everyone to answer. Okay, there are only few answers which I've got. Wait, Deepa, I will just check. I have the questions for yesterday's test also. I'll just come to your doubt. So your doubt is also there and Ajay's doubt is also there. I'll read it and come. Let me read the question. Okay. So yes, Ajay, yes, let's see. 14. Now here, no, every time the students goes wrong. Now basically when I talk about, see, please try to understand, when we talk about fieldwork research, okay, which is something which is based on what, which is based on your primary research, which is real, now see, here there was, I mean to say, if you see in certain books also, they have given experimental also. Now why experimental? Because they are telling that primary research is something participant observation, which is something based on data, or which is collection, or which is based on survey method. Okay, but it can be, I mean say, if you go in detail, basically fieldwork research is something which is taking into consideration the real time examples. So in that sense it can be empirical, but you can even challenge such type of question. I cannot deny that experimental is a wrong answer, so I've ticked for both. But in UGC NTA examination, if you come across such type of question, you can challenge this question, because primary research is something based on participant observation or data collection or survey research, which can be a part of what experiment. So here both can go right, that is empirical also can go right and experimental also can go right. Okay, yes, based on experience, you can challenge such questions. Okay, is it clear? So both here will be considered as right. Fine. But why historical? I didn't get, Ajay. You came up with historical. I don't know. You and Shamina. On what basis? It is field work, which is something a primary part of sources. Fine. Yes. Now coming to the last question of the day. A doctor studies the relative effectiveness of two different vaccines for COVID. His research would be classified as what? A descriptive research, a experimental research, a case study, or an ethnography. So what basically it will be called as? Okay, there are two doubts of two students, so just wait back. Scores also I need to understand, and then we will go ahead. Okay. Deepa, I'm just checking yesterday's question. All of the above was the only right answer. Yes, that was only marked as right. What happened? You got something else in the app? You got it wrong? Just let me know. No. Now see, Junaid, I'll come to your question also. Wait, but that has to be clarified in the answer. In the topic, in the sentence. UGC NTA can't give such open sentence. It has to be clarified, and then you can say that nothing is clarified under the conditions of what. So experimental can be also right if you read the question carefully. Okay. So yes. Now see. A doctor studies the effectiveness of 2 vaccines for COVID. So this research will be classified as, now see, the doctor here the doctor is not studying any society or any group, or it is not a case study. It is means the doctor has to see the impact of the vaccines, okay, with vaccine 1 and vaccine 2, and for that the doctor needs to take what? The doctor needs to take needs to do an experiment, okay, the experiment which has a different stages. So here the answer will be what? Experimental research. Shreya, if you were confused, I hope your confusion is clear with this. It is very clear that it is experimental research, because without experiment you cannot come up with the best effective vaccine, or which is the vaccine out of 2 which is effective. Is it clear? I need to check up, Deepa. I'll just check up. Wait, because option D is the right answer. Okay. Fine. But option, I will just check up. Okay. Is it clear now, everyone? So Deepa, your doubt is sorted out. Everyone, just let me know. Yes, theory classes of research is completed. In the description box, the links are there, Junaid. Or if, crash course for research also will come up. So in case if you want to brush up your, initial thing, you can just wait for the crash course. Is it clear with everyone? Okay. So, just put your scores, everyone. Just once we are not ending. I have one doubt to sort out of one student, but yes, do not study until you get right. Study until you can't get it wrong. So now it's high time for you. Your motivation level should be double. Many of you must be taking a relaxation that there is no. Yes, correct answer is B, Prachi. Okay, Neelam, wait, I'll come to it. Okay. See, I'll come to that question number 14 also. Please try to understand those students who are thinking that notification is not there, so there is a time, or the exam will be in the month of December. Don't do that mistake. Okay. Ensure that your daily practice is going on, which will definitely help you in your final results, and you don't have to regret that you wasted your time, and then again you're losing one chance. So utilize the time and do your studies well. As we all know that we have also paper 2 management, we have paper 2 with reference to computer science, commerce, economics, okay, where the fees is 7,000 rupees. In case if you're interested, you can get in touch. Now I'll first sort out the topic of Ajay. Ajay, are you there? Yes. Ajay, I'll come to your question first, and Neelam, then I'll come to yours, because I kept it pending for a long time. Okay. Now yes. Gautami, chapter wise I am taking MCQ, because chapter wise theory I have already completed. From Jan I have started the session. So Jan, Feb, March I completed all the theory units. Now I have started with MCQs. Okay. And after this, in between, I'll start with the crash course also for every unit. Fine. Now yes, Rajiv, what you said about generalization is exactly correct. But if you look at this question, the question is asking you what? See, sometimes in depth when we try to analyze, we get confused, or we may end up with something which is wrong. But if you see this question, which of the following research format focuses on hypothesis testing? Means what they are telling is that a hypothesis testing is done, and based on the testing we come up with a general statement. That is, they have instead of using the word general statement, they have used over here generalization. So if you see, when we do not implement it in action, because in action we depend on the activity, in narration we depend upon the individual experiences, in case study we do not take into consideration the hypothesis testing, we talk about the perspective. So from the question point of view, here we do not have to put inductive reasoning and how inductive reasoning leads to experimental. We are not you are getting into something which is not a part of question. They just gave us that hypothesis testing, and after that a generalization, that means a statement is made. So that is a form of what type of research? It is experimental and ex post facto. You went into depth, which is good, but not for this question. Fine. Deepa, no, there is no possibility of management conducting online, because just to complete OB I took 285 slides I have completed, which the recording has to go. So meanwhile there is no chances. I won't keep you in dark. So there are no chances meanwhile about online. Okay, fine. Yes, Ajay, see, you're stuck on generalization, no? But you are just looking from the generalization point of view. Your generalization is after the hypothesis testing, when we come up with the general statement that is related to what research, that's what they are talking over here. Fine. Yes, all the chapters are available, Gautami, in the link you can see. Fine. Is it clear with everyone? So today also, Deepa or rest of them, you have 3 questions posted on app. You can attempt them, which are related to the topic only, to what I did, and you can decide, you can start preparing yourself well. And tomorrow, no doubt, tomorrow at 9 p.m. again we'll come with a fresh set of questions and some theory topics, which will help you to gain more and more of content related to research ethics. Yes, Shelly, I have given your suggestion yesterday to the team. Let's see how they come up. Okay, fine. So yes, thank you everyone. Tomorrow again we'll be back at 9 p.m. with another set of research aptitude questions in the form of practice MCQs. Thank you everyone for the day.